back went up.
It is hard to
Holy
watch that and pay attention to
It
this.
is.
Justin, was it you recently that told me you've been sipping vodka?
Yeah, that client we
Oh,
just brought
straight?
on.
I might
Wow.
try to decide if I put the Coca-Cola in here because I have no other good mixer tonight, or if I just sip
Hey,
vodka.
Chad, did you
That's
see that?
pretty
Do you see
good.
that
Oh,
one
shit.
thing they say that if you drink cocktails with diet beverages versus regular, they get you drunker faster.
Drunker, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Why? That's true.
Because I
That makes
believe
no
everything
sense.
I read on the internet. That's why.
Me too.
Let me out, we're gonna have a real bad.
You're gonna have a really, really bad time, sir.
This shit. Let me out, we're gonna have a real bad time.
Cool. Welcome everybody to this Shamanda show. In all seriousness right now, and I'm very serious, I want to share with you a disclosure of kinds. I believe this is the third time we've had the Shamanda show on, and I wanted to do some research, which is not common for me, but I just kind of want to go back and see like what the past shows have been like, and just kind of orientate myself. And as soon as I hit play on the first time, immediately I noticed my hands getting sweaty. My heart was beating faster. I was getting stressed out.
Spaghetti.
And then I moved on to the second one, and the same bodily reactions were occurring to me. It's kind of like a Vietnam vet going on a vacation in a tropical place and walking into the palm trees and stuff and having bad reaction to their past. And so I have to tell you right now, I'm in that mode. I'm feeling very anxious, sweaty, nervous, even frustrated, and no one's even said anything yet. So I just want you all to buckle up. And if you're feeling any of these same types of emotions throughout the show, I just want you to know it's normal. I'm here with you, and we're going to get through it together. Let's see. Justin, we don't have a lot of time to waste, so let's get right to it. Intro our guest, Silent J.
Do legends really need to be introduced? I don't think so. These amazing ladies are up there with the likes of Mark's BFF, Mr. Fred Reish, the one and only Nevin Adams, and the prank master himself, Mr. John Sullivan, among many others. Surefire first ballot Hall of Famers. They hold the records for setting the original Ackerson, as well as the longest running show of 3 hours, and there shan't be anyone better at taking JD off of his game. Ladies and gents, it's been a minute. Here to reclaim their title for most Ackersons and clearly already taking JD off his game, TPA extraordinaires, BFS for life, part of the OG crew. Please welcome back for the third appearance, Shamanda.
Wow.
Yay!
Justin, I'm
Bring
going
him
to
up.
ring you up, but it's going to be
Bring him
disruptive.
up.
Hey,
But that's
it was
4.
worth it.
That's 4.
How many
let's-
I was counting. Was it 4?
I got it.
Yeah.
We got up the ante. We got to get you over that goal today.
I like this. Brandon, let's get to it. Let's do some headlines. That's what we do here. We do headlines. Oh, I noticed I had a little Elon Musk black eye there in that last one. Before we go ahead, these are kind of like headlines. I just want to do two quick updates for everyone first, okay? My updates have to do with my new $10,000 toilet that I know a lot of you have been thinking about, and I want to keep you up to speed on that. And at the same time, Manulife, John Hancock retirement. God, that rolls off the tongue. A little quick update there. My $10,000 toilet is in place in the what do you call that? The powder room, right? The bathroom that all your guests can go to.
Put it downstairs?
What's that, Chad?
You put it downstairs.
Yes.
I thought for sure you were putting it upstairs.
Well, I've got my own bidet upstairs, but this one, there it is. There it is. That is installed and in the powder room. And I think maybe on the next show, I'll give a little video or can show everyone what's going on. You can talk to it. It plays songs for you. It does a light show in there. It's been a lot of fun.
Is this the same one that's in your your bathroom or no?
No, I only bought one. Let's not lie to the people. I've only got one $10,000 bidet, not two. The other one's a standard one. I think I only dropped like 4K on the other one. Okay, let's Manulife.
I'm really rich.
Manulife it has such a creative design team, branding, marketing team over there, and we all know this because they came out with this just, jaw-dropping new name of Manulife John Hancock Retirement. Every time I say it, I just feel happier when I say it. But have y'all seen their logo? The logo that goes along with this is fucking fire. Brandon, put it up. I mean, look at that thing. Just soak it in. The creativity over there is mind-blowing.
What do you
great, but
Undoubtedly, that stands for
You're missing
something.
the
There's
hey
something
part.
It
like-
has to say, is there anybody
Yeah.
from Manulife on here watching
you tell
this
us
that can
what that
tell us what it
stands
stands for?
Well, it
They
stands
probably
for
had
three.
branding lessons
Yeah,
about
three.
this.
I don't know.
It's also the very start of, for all you millennials, when you do the Stussy sign, right? That S that you connect all the lines.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they started the sign. They're like, we're just, that's enough.
Can you
Can't afford
imagine
too many lines.
the amount of the check they wrote to the Madison Avenue design company to do that for them? I wish I could have been in the conference room when they presented this on the big screen. We'll move on. Let's go to an article from the National Association of Plan Advisors hyphen whatever their website is. And they need to get a new website. I feel like a new address, but it comes from our boy Sully. And I call the title of this article, "Damn, dude, you seen those Fidelity savings rates?" But I think it's titled something else. Did you all get a chance to read this? And Amanda, I'm going to go to you first. If you were hanging out with one of your neighbors or a friend and they said, "Amanda, you work in the 401k biz. You're a big shot chief executive officer of a large company. If I was to ask you what the average deferral rate is of people across the country before reading this article, which is just a Fidelity search, I mean, what would your answer be, honestly?"
What would I have honestly guessed? 6.
Yeah.
I would have guessed 6%.
6. Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's
for sure.
that's what I probably would have done the same thing. 14.3, well, hang on. Your 6 should be compared to their 9.5, which is what they're saying the employees are doing.
Can we
they're attacking.
acknowledge? You got to acknowledge, though, they're talking about those that are participating.
Yes.
So we tend to operate in a world of looking at people who are not saving and counting them as a zero.
There's
So
no
they're
zeros
saying,
here,
Fair.
right?
Yes, no
Yep.
zeros.
Damn you, Chad. That was literally my next question on my iPad over here, but
my
great
bad.
minds think alike. So, but 14.3%, when you combine the deferrals with the average employer contribution, match, whatever you want to call it, that's, to me, when I read this article, I was so bored going into it. But then I'm like, holy shit, like that's pretty fucking phenomenal. If even what Chad said, and I'll go to you here, Mrs. S. Words, they're almost at 15%. Like this is what
awesome.
everyone tells a responsible investor they should do. At least the people at Fidelity that are participating seem to be doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, they seem to be doing an awesome job. So like when I read it, because I went through and read it, JD, when it came out earlier this week, and I was like super excited for all of us in this
Same.
industry. Like we're making a difference. It's
Yeah, I felt the same.
kind
way.
of like we're curing problems. And I was like, yes, we make a difference. We're
It was
saving
nice
lives.
to read an article that wasn't a downer, right?
Right. Or didn't say like the 401k plan is failing.
Wait, Mark's shaking his head no.
No, this is
Why not?
Why?
John Sullivan's
Smokescreen,
in
right,
Fidelity's pocket. Let's be honest.
a
It's
lie.
an inside job.
No way.
Can
No way.
Can I point out 2 things in my brain, which is very small? Okay, one, specifically, this was for the first quarter of 2025, right? So what happens in the first quarter? Re-enrollments, auto-enroll, auto-escalate, everything kind of bumps up a little bit. Opt-outs
Hadn't thought about
aren't
auto.
happening yet, right? People haven't adjusted. Secondarily, these big corporate companies hand out bonuses in Q1, typically after the year closes. People are going to bump up that one-time rate to save, 25% of their bonus to reduce their taxes. So I think the rates can climb in the first quarter. I would like to see what the second quarter looks like, because I'm going to estimate, close your mouth, Chad, that it's going to be less.
Who are you? What have you done with Robe Guy?
He's not
And
drunk enough
welcome to the show. I love this new person. Those were phenomenal insights. Have you been pre-gaming? What is the key to this new you?
Maybe we jazz him up, right, Mark?
Maybe that's it.
He was
Really
excited.
Amanda, you intimidate me. Shannon, you've pointed a gun at us, so you really intimidate me. So I'm just here to make sure I can walk out of here and be safe.
All true things.
We'll move on, but those are probably some pretty good points.
Those were fantastic points, Mark. But to combat them a little bit, remember the stat is first quarter over first quarter. So they're referencing it against what the first quarter numbers were from the year before, which were also fairly inflated.
But to Chad, I wasn't saying that there was this massive leap year over year. I was just saying the general number was very impressive to me.
Yeah. But I think Mark's greatest point there was the auto enroll factor in this. And someone wrote it in the chat bar, 10% is the new 6%.
For sure.
Auto enroll in plans is not just increasing, but the percentage of deferral that's coming out of the auto enroll.
Chad just spoke cursive. That was really cool.
Are you?
I like percentage.
Amanda or Shannon, I guess I didn't think about this for a second, because I don't think not a lot of people auto enroll people at 8 or 9%. But what we do have a lot more these days is those annual step ups, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that those things are kicking in
at an auto enrollment of 10?
I think a lot of new plans are being written with auto enroll at 10.
God
That was all Fidelity,
But,
wasn't it? It was all Fidelity plans?
Yeah.
Did I get that
Yes,
right?
it's a Fidelity study.
Fidelity isn't a startup company. They don't take on a lot of startups. It's usually.
That's a good point.
What does that have to do with shit?
Well,
grandfather.
We're talking about mandatory auto enroll. No.
Right.
But what Fidelity does
That's
do
what
is
we're
it plays in the mid to large to mega space. And we all know that those are the plans that led the automatic enrollment crusade, So anyways, whatever. We don't need to dwell on it, but I thought I agree with
it's
our
all
guests.
good things. Can we just say that that's awesome? But
I
also
loved reading that. You're right.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's what I was going to try to say was that's a great thing. Yeah. So let's follow it up with another great thing. Chitty looks very tight.
What a nice compliment.
Look tight.
Uptight is what I think you meant.
Uptight.
Well, but Roby, didn't they do that in the 80s? Wasn't like, bro, you look tight, bro.
Yeah, that was a compliment back then.
Yeah.
But Roby and I were barely born then. You too. So, sorry.
You know what else is fucking tight? The wheel of ice. That's fucking tight.
Already. Damn it. He's fucked with this. It's going to be all of us.
No, it's going to be.
I hope there's an Amanda. There should be a Shamanda on there. How did we not put a Shamanda on?
You're so right.
I told you.
All four of you?
I gotta pause mine because I gotta set up this next segment. I'll get to it. I got it right here, but
wait, hold on.
A third-time guest. I'm a little disappointed you guys don't have one.
They didn't get. I thought we were. Hey, I can do one of these.
You guys, when is the last time we've had guests do Smirnoffs? We don't do that.
They're not.
They are special.
Okay, wait a minute. The first time we were on here, you sent us Smirnoffs and you made us do it.
That was a one-off. I might have done that 3 times.
Then we happened and he quit that.
Then JD bought a $10,000 toilet and couldn't afford it.
This is the big news, everybody. There has been first ever released photos of Shlomo's secret society. We've talked about this before on this show. Shlomo in Southern California has been having this kind of, what do you call the secret bar that you go to where you got to know how to get in?
Speakeasy.
Yeah, it's like a 401k speakeasy of fancy retirement plan geniuses. And it's been going on for quite some time, but no one till now has ever really gained access into what's going on there. Yes, we had all imagined them in hooded robes, standing around a fire of some time, chanting 401k slogans, but now there are photos and there are videos out there, and we've even seen the people that are there. Charlie Nelson's, Jason Roberts, Mitch Habers, Fred Reishes, my bestie, like lots of big shot people there. Chad, did you see these shots and were you excited?
So I did, and I have to be honest, my initial thought when I saw that photo is, I've seen that photo before, JD. I've seen it. And then I went back and looked at Shlomo had prior posts where it is the Hidden Society folks with the two dogs in the picture, and it looks like everybody's wearing the same fucking clothes.
He's just reposting old pictures.
No, but
it's
do
a
you
different
notice
angle.
that he got a little
It's a
crap for
different
not
angle.
having any women in there? And so in the one post, then there's
Talk
now
about a sausage
token.
fest.
We got a token
Wow.
woman there.
There's
Oh,
one.
wow.
There's one.
Talk
Maybe
about a
he
sausage
requires
fest. I
you
don't.
to wear the same clothes. Maybe it's a
But-
requirement.
Do I want to be there? The answer is yes.
Absolutely.
I want to be in that
Absolutely.
room so bad. I want to be in there almost as much as I want to go watch a Masters at Augusta. Almost.
I kind of feel the same way, but it was really
You
cool.
have your
to-
priorities way out of whack.
I'm
Chad.
going to go with the Masters at Augusta.
Francis on to
I
something.
said almost. Shannon.
100 times out of 100.
Shannon,
Almost.
you do realize you'd literally be sitting by a fire in Shlomo's modern house architecture in the backyard, and Fred Reich would be sitting right by your side.
Was
You'd
there a
literally be
trampoline?
cheering
How many
wine.
Was there a
secret rooms do you
trampoline
think
next
is
to
in
him?
that
No,
place?
time out. I'm pretty
Katie, can we
sure.
drink?
I'm pretty
I
sure
already
that
did.
we
Mark
could
already
go.
did.
I'm pretty sure we could go sit by Fred Reich at dinner
Yeah.
at Napa 401k Summit if we just
Don't make
invited
me
him.
jealous.
Oh,
And
Asher's
ring
in
her
there,
up.
Shan.
Oh.
Ring her up.
Yep.
All right. Well, what were they talking about? Let's move to a topic because these people were talking
but
about
first,
something.
You guys got to finish your Smirnoff.
We already did.
Me and Mark did.
I will, Amanda. Don't pressure me right
you
now.
did it. Okay.
They were talking about guaranteed income solutions for sure, but bore. I don't want to talk about that anymore. What they were talking about as well was private equity in 401k plans. And I have to say, we talked about this. There they are. We talked about this recently, where Empower had done a big press release about private equity in their programs, and they were going to kind of slide them into some managed account sleeves at, I think, like less than 10% or less than 5%. I saw a post on LinkedIn where I didn't realize this, but a lot of people in our industry were really like popping off on that. They were pissed off about it. They felt like it was not prudent. It was reckless. They didn't like that Empower was kind of waving the flag that they were doing this. And I didn't realize there was so much passion on the other side of this argument. So I'm going to pound my Smirnoff Ice. But for anyone who has not, how do you feel? Do you join this side of negative? Are you against private equity in 401k if it's done in a smaller sliver? And tell me why, because I want to spend about 2 minutes on this, and we're going to move on to the next one.
That's to
Don't go
you,
silent on me.
Amanda. That's to you, Amanda.
No, I'm on silent. I thought if we all be quiet long enough, Silent J was going to talk.
He will.
No.
And that we don't need to hear what he has to
He
say
almost
right now.
talked.
You don't.
He
God
started
damn
to
it.
No,
talk.
okay, so my opinion
in.
on it is I'm all right with it as long as people are educated on what they're investing in. It can be pretty risky, and it could just be, I mean, we're a society of like, we hear something, we go do it, think of like crypto and shit, and we don't think before we act. So just like the crypto thing that we're going to talk about in a little bit, that's kind of my stance on it. Educate the people and let them make their own
You're
decisions.
right. The analogy that you're bringing up with the crypto is so good because I think a lot of the same arguments are made, and we'll pivot that right now. But I do want to be clear to everyone. Private equity, investing in these smaller companies that are not on the publicly traded stock markets has really done well for a lot of investors over the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And the returns, when you compare them with regular returns, they outperform. It seems to me that taking advantage of that and getting it into our programs. And again, in a small, responsible sliver. And to Justin's point, we'll get to the crypto here in a second, which has some other characteristics. But I do get a little upset at the people that push so hard against it, because I think I said this on a past show, like, I like to see us evolving a little bit and like bringing some fresh stuff to the investment mix. I would like to see target date funds that have new sleeves of alternative investments that might boost the performance for our participants. And you know what's more important than what I think or what I want? I think the people that you serve, the employers and the participants for sure that work for them, would like us to innovate like this a little bit when it comes to investments. But we're all fiduciaries. Our fucking, our neckties are tied too tight. And so we're not going to let things change like this. That's kind of my pissed off version of this.
Well, to that point, JD, though, like, I think a lot of what's going on is typically focused on what the average investor, does the average investor care, know, or want to know about this stuff? And the answer is likely no. But to your point, these different alternatives have proven successful in other countries and other areas. And I like what you're saying. We should be open-minded, and specifically as an industry, and not be so stuffy when it comes to things that are different, right? Because eventually something that's different is going to be moved into reality.
And look at all these fuckers in the chat bar. Remember when we were saying we weren't giving the chat bar enough attention? You got fucking Jason chiming in on transparency. You got Brashaw going, paging Slichter. You guys fucking grow a pair. This is an alternative investment that can create not only diversity, but cannot be correlated to some others and actually like help balance out a portfolio.
Even if it's allowed, right? If you're the fiduciary on a plan, are you going, yep, let's do that? Or is your risk way too high there to say, yeah, let's put that in the plan?
If you put a restraint on it and it's 5% of a managed account or a target date fund or whatever, I don't see why a responsible fiduciary couldn't make that decision and defend it in court amongst a Schlichter or whatever,
Let me kind of ask the simple question: is that the saying has been around for decades that the rich get richer, and the rich get richer, and number one, because they have more money to invest, two, because they get access to other investments that the average person does not. So if we're talking about the largest investable assets for the vast majority of America being inside these qualified plans, and we're saying that this is where the rich want to invest, right? They give someone $10 million, they're usually getting access to private equity. So if we're saying those two things in a similar sentence, why wouldn't we want the average American to get some exposure to this? And why wouldn't we do it in a fiduciary capacity, like JD is saying, that is de minimis in terms of the exposure, but gives them access to some big gains? I think we're not doing it because we don't want to bring the average American into the same investment boat that these large hedge fund folks are leveraging. I think that's the fear.
I think Russ or Jackson, whoever Nova 401k is, said it. I kind of hit the nail on the head. Said guiding fiduciary principle in ERISA is to minimize risk, not to maximize returns.
Yeah, but what the fuck is that?
No,
come on.
Just to be conservative.
Get that.
Oh, bullshit on that. It's about having a prudent, well-balanced, diversified fucking portfolio. That's a stupid statement. Otherwise, we'd all be in like fucking fixed accounts or something. I think the problem with this is the high fees we talked about last time. There's a fee structure here that in the retirement plan space, we're all not very familiar with and we're not very comfortable. And so to Grant's point of transparency, I think that needs to be dealt with. I think what I don't want to see is people putting these in so they can make a lot of money. But those are problems that we can easily solve. Let's go to the next level with crypto because it gets even dangerouser here. Is that a word? Dangerouser? I don't think so.
We'll let you use it. We'll let you use it.
Recently on 401k Specialist, They had a great podcast, but wait, let me set it up first. The Employee Benefits and Security Administration very recently has rescinded their what was called guidance on crypto that we got in 2022. In 2022, we got this guidance from them, which by the way was very unheard of to have that entity comment on what was an okay investment and what was not. Sorry guys, getting over a cold. And but that went in, and so now
Well, your
they've
toilet doesn't
it.
fix that.
I could try that. I'll try that at the break.
Shoot some medicine right
Yeah.
out of you.
That toilet should fix everything.
Hey, you know what
Probably
it
has
does
a neti
do?
pot
Mine
attack.
is right at the butt.
You know what it does do, Roby? Is that when you walk in, it obviously it opens for you, but it does squirt out like a fragrance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Does it talk to you too? Does it welcome you into the bathroom?
No, but you can tell it. You can ask it to play the Bee Gees for me or whatever. It'll play music for you. Okay,
Still
so
an Alexa. I think they're like $30 now.
yeah, but you can't shit in an Alexa, Amanda. And so they come out and they rescind this. And yes, this is a Democrat versus Republican kind of thing. It's definitely a Biden than a Trump kind of thing. But what I'd like to now go to is I have an audio clip from Knut. I think that's how you pronounce that. Knut Rostad. He's part of the Fiduciary Institute of something. Someone look it up for me in the chat bar. It's one of these Washington, nonprofits. But he's being interviewed by Brian Anderson at 401k Specialist Magazine. And this is his response to crypto in 401ks, and more specifically, how these employers or these plan sponsors might talk to their employees about this. Brandon, play the clip if you can. Otherwise,
but in terms of demand for it, if plan fiduciaries and those that are good will absolutely do this, sort of instinctively, once they inform a plan participant what crypto is all about, the plan participant is not going to be very interested in it. I think, plain and simple. But if a plan fiduciary could start to say, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, if you seriously want to take a certain amount in your pension and put it into cryptos, here's my suggestion for you. Take
Let's hear
half
it.
that amount and buy yourself a very fancy trip to Las Vegas and gamble all you want to do, because you'll lose less money and you'll understand what cryptos are all about in a more meaningful way.
Wait for Brian.
Okay, that's an interesting take. Great.
Do you hear Brian then? He goes, okay.
That's an
He kind of
interesting
laughs.
take.
I loved that section.
Wow.
I was like,
I've never met this Knut guy. And I'm sure someone out there right now is thinking, you snotty little brat, JD, talking about this guy. He's probably got a very established career, very respectful, a Washington, D.C. type, I'll drink. But that response to me is, again, very similar to this private equity thing, is everything that upsets me about our industry's response to some of these changes. Now, if you listen to the whole podcast, which I recommend because it's literally like less than 10 minutes, he brings up
You
the
put
classic,
on 2-speed, it's 4 minutes.
there you go. He brings up the classic concept of volatility. That this is just you heard his Vegas analogy. This is just an extremely sketchy, volatile asset. And before I bring up the next thing, he goes, Brandon, I sent you a little slide that I ripped up real quick before the show today. Can you put it up there of the three graphs? Thank you.
Look at this, JD. Look at all this homework. Wow.
Yeah.
Which one is
Thank
the
you,
Standards
Amanda.
and Poor's?
By the way, I'm already calmer with the new Amanda. Like
I'm trying
I feel
to
like
read your mirror. I promise you.
By the
don't
way,
like
I'm
it.
bored out of my mind.
Yes.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
trying.
I want her
don't
just
wanna give
taking
JD
over.
Severe anxiety, you guys. I've been
I
promising
text
him all
everybody
week.
and said, come for a show. It's going to be crazy. And they've all left.
most people have been telling me, I've been getting a lot of texts and they're saying, Amanda's tight, bro. Amanda's so tight. So
Well,
check out this.
Are we ready with Festivus yet? Because I want to go there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
I
what
thought
I
we were
have
starting
here,
with Festivus.
what I have here is obviously this is a 2-year performance for all 3 of these investments. And one of them is Bitcoin. And the other 2 are household names that no one has any problem with you investing your 401k in. So just stare at that for a second and
Apple
tell
and
me that you
Google.
can pick out which one is which based on the ups and fucking downs. And Chad, I don't mean in a nerdy way because you can remember when Bitcoin dropped. My point is just look at them in general and tell me that one of these is more volatile. And if you had to guess, Shannon, which one might you guess is the most volatile investment up there? There's no wrong answer, really.
No, I would guess the top
There
one.
is a wrong answer.
There is a wrong answer. I'm going to guess the top one, which I think is wrong.
Yeah, that is wrong. Anyone else want to guess which one?
I can't read.
Which one is which? Which one is Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I'm going number 3.
No, it's number 2. Okay.
Really?
So on top is Meta, and on the bottom is Nvidia, and in the middle is Bitcoin. So suck on that, motherfuckers. You guys have no clue what you're talking about.
Hold on, though. Hold on. If you're the general conversation has been around crypto as a whole, and you obviously know I'm a believer, but let me combat this point. You picked the most stable of all the cryptos. Like
Bitcoin. Yeah.
Bitcoin is now, if you start throwing in Litecoin and all these others, you're going to see.
Come on, Chad.
Whoa, Chad, calm down, buddy.
When they're saying it, they're talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. I think when you're talking about Fidelity, putting in 401k or any like established program, Amanda's totally right. It's going to be Bitcoin.
Holy shit. Did you guys hear that? Let's back that up. Can we hear that again?
It's recorded.
You're totally right.
Clip it.
It's
now, this is
recorded.
only one issue, so I don't want to upset the anti-Bitcoiners in 401k out there because all I'm speaking to now is volatility. But if you listen to Canute, volatility was a big part of his argument against why we would have Bitcoin in 401k. The next problem he had, if you listen to that podcast with Brian, was the custody. The fact that he feels like crypto is in a black box, right? It's in these people's wallets, it's on the blockchain, and you don't know what's happening underneath the hood. Hello, everybody. You think that's how Fidelity's doing it? Do you think that they're custodying it? They're literally putting it in their thing and allowing you access to see your value of it, and it's in the good, trustworthy hands of a mega company with a stellar reputation called Fidelity, who, by the way, has decided to do this a long time ago. Back in 2022, they decided, coincidentally, right around the time the original guidance came out from the Employee Benefit Security Administration. But anyways, I just wanted to have this conversation about all the people that continue to push against this, as now, similar to our
this
private
isn't
equity.
really a conversation, though, JD. I will say you're fairly one-sided when it comes to this.
Thank you,
Well,
Robbie.
I want to line it up.
I'm pointing out facts, buddy. I'm not here to debate you because I don't want to, but I'm just saying.
Perfect. It lines up to me with the private equity side. I'm not saying let's let our participants invest 50% of their account in Bitcoin. I'm not saying let's let the participants even invest 10% of their own money. I'm saying, would it not be prudent and smart, just like private equity, to start to put a sliver of crypto into our managed accounts, our target date funds?
I think you've
what
killed
have
this.
you?
I think we should move on.
Okay.
Yeah?
Hold on.
I'm with you.
Yeah, we're about ready. You have a good instinct,
Yeah.
Amanda. We're about ready.
Let me make one statement, JD. I feel what you're arguing for more than anything is that we need to continue to be open to evolving in our space. And instead of just saying this is the way we've always done it, so let's just keep doing it the same way. And I feel like most folks in our space are preaching that. You don't put anything risky in there because you shouldn't. That's not the way we've ever done it. We're not going to do it moving forward. And I think we need to continue to evaluate what those other options are.
I appreciate that. Okay, Amanda, I blew it already because I was going to have you start off the show. with this, and I forgot about this. So I did not know what a Festivus was until
What?
I got the email from you today.
You didn't know what
No.
Festivus was?
Amanda, for Christ's sake, chat to everybody. What are you doing?
So Amanda, everyone, would like the floor. December 23rd apparently is Festivus. I'm sorry, I don't know, but she's got her own little Festivus or grievance to share with us all. Take it
All
away,
right.
Amanda.
And now I don't even see him in the chat bar. It's not even any of you, and I wouldn't tell JD who it is. So I'm like, and I don't see he's in the chat bar today. So let me just start off by saying this. 2023 was a busy year for me. I became a CEO, became the president-elect. I had a traumatic thing happen in my life. I was just trying to get through things. I don't think I posted on LinkedIn much. But I've been working in corporate America since I was 22 years old, and I'm the same fucking person I was when I started to where I am now. Hopefully evolved just a little tiny bit. But Tony Davis needs to shut the F up and quit harassing me on LinkedIn about becoming corporate, because every post where I post something, he posts, Amanda Iverson's become corporate, and I'm over it. This is how corporate I am, so suck it.
Wow.
Kick me outside. How about that?
Do you
Hey, that's
know
your business partner, buddy?
now? Hey,
And he's not here tonight.
hey,
Yeah, he
remember?
is. Yes, he is.
Remember when I
What's his
told
name?
you that?
Pilot?
Remember when I
he's
told you?
alcoholic, dude.
Oh, fuck.
Remember when I told you that my hands weren't sweaty anymore, and my heart was getting
I
steady?
saved it for half the show, JD. Quit saying
One
I
thing
went
is
corporate.
true
I
with
don't even know
Amanda.
what that means.
Do you know that in 10 years of doing this show, the only times I can remember where drama broke out afterwards are times when Amanda's been on the show. And I feel like later tonight, I'm going to have to answer some text messages about more drama.
Wait,
Well,
hold,
I'm just saying, I could have said it on LinkedIn when he called me out again for the whatever time and said, Shannon's going to have to save the show or whatever she did because Amanda's gone corporate.
He was
I'm like,
claiming, I
no,
think,
I'm
that you
gonna
were. By the way, is he wrong?
she's
Because
been very
the
mellow.
old Brandon, can you put up the video of the old Amanda, the pre-corporate Amanda, please?
Oh.
There she is.
Okay, this is my third drink.
I'm
first of
kidding.
all.
I'm kidding.
And I promised JD I'd behave so I don't have to wait 5 years to come back.
It seems like you're being much more
Good.
responsible, which others could
Yeah, how
conclude
many
as
actresses have you
corporate.
said?
But let's see how the rest of the show plays out.
I think we could conclude too that she calmed down a bit when she became president of the American Society of Pension Professionals and Actuaries.
Oh, no,
I-
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Impressive.
Shut the F
She's,
up.
hey,
That's not
JD,
true.
she's
Yes.
as scared of Brian Graff as you are.
Brian's my buddy. I'm
Please.
not scared.
Play the but yes. Brandon's reading my mind, or is that Mark? I don't know.
Hey,
I
did
don't
we
have
just
that
get
button.
I
past
love
what
Brian.
Festivus was? I need to know what Festivus is.
It's the airing
Oh,
of grievances.
I thought Festivus was a Seinfeld holiday.
It
well,
is. It's where you
I think
air
they're
your
one and the same.
grievances. It's
Oh.
December 23rd.
before
Festivus for the rest
Christmas,
of
you
us.
air all of your grievances.
Hey, happy Festivus, everyone!
I'm gonna do this now. I like this.
Let's see.
Nobody else has a grievance to air?
Oh, we all get to
wow.
do it?
Yeah.
I do have a
Oh.
grievance
Okay.
to air. I have a grievance to
Go
air
ahead,
about
Shannon.
LinkedIn.
I
I
have
am
one as
so
well.
tired of people connecting with me and acting like they know me and just to sell me something.
Oh,
And then
yes,
when they
me
try to
too.
sell me something, they don't even know what the hell I do. And they haven't even read my bio or what my company's about or what my volunteer work is about. They like think I'm a CPA
Because they're a
firm,
bot, honey.
or they think I'm a financial advisor. all
I've
of the
heard
shit.
many people share your frustration here in terms of these direct messages they're getting in LinkedIn. I just want to give you a piece of advice of like how I deal with these. I have two solutions that have worked really well in the past. One currently is, and I'm being serious here, I feel like those are pretty easy to recognize pretty quickly because I get my fair share too. And so I just ignore them. Like they don't even bother me. They're just like a little, thing there. And I just ignore them. The
Wait,
next thing
hold
that
on,
you can-
JD. So advice you're giving Shannon and I is when someone is annoying you, just to ignore them. This
Yes.
is coming from you?
Yes. Just
Oh,
ignore
my-
them.
Which one of
Just
us
ignore
has
it.
changed?
I don't respond to it.
But you know how sometimes that little gnat is flying around in the air all around you and all around you, and you're trying to ignore it, and finally you just want to smash it, and then it just drives
So
you
okay,
insane.
let me give you a way to smash it now. Let me give you a way to smash it. This is a very fun exercise that I recommend everyone do. And maybe I'll get Brandon and I to pull some of mine from the past so we can kind of read through them. Start to play with them. So respond and say, don't tell. Tell me about this great deal. You're going to 7X my business? I want to know more. And they're like, oh, let's set up a call. No. Tell me more. And then you just start fucking with them. Start telling them that you've got marital problems and, you know, you're looking.
My luck would be they would screenshot that and then post it and tag me.
I'm just saying, go crazy on them. Go crazy on them.
Let's,
Chad, go ahead.
By the way, don't be naive. Nobody is actually writing you in that post, Shannon. It's automated. It's blasted to a bunch of people. It's not an individual.
You mean they don't love me, Chad?
I mean, everybody loves you, but they're not real.
Shan, I love that you had a grievance, though.
Yeah, what's your grievance?
That was
the
it.
tradition of Festivus begins.
That was it. Oh,
that
okay.
was my grievance.
All right, here's mine. I'm going to call out someone. I don't know if they're here tonight or not. I really don't care. Rob Smith, getting that right? Rob with 2 B's. He's from Pooled Employer Plan -hub. Is that a thing? That's not a thing, is it? .com. This is what Rob does. And I've had many a fun debate with Rob about pooled employer plans. But this is what Rob does on LinkedIn. This is my grievance. Someone posts something, someone else, and Rob is consistently in their comments then promoting his own business model.
Oh, that's the worst.
Literally putting the links to it. Well, I'll drink right now at PEP-Hub. We do this and blah, 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 blah. And this is our services and our value add. And check us out at www. I guess I'll drink for that too. Worldwideweb. And so if you're doing that, and Rob, I'm calling you out if you watch this recording, that's a big grievance of mine. That is poor taste on LinkedIn. If I do a post about something, I do not want you to use my comments to promote your own shit. I don't care if it's related or not. Fair?
I agree. Fair.
All
Very
three
fair.
of these grievances are totally 100% fair.
What I have noticed about
who else has one?
I have noticed about that person is when you disagree with him in the comments, it turns into an all-out argument as well.
Oh, but that's fun. I like doing that with him.
Yeah.
I get a lot
I'm in
of
there.
Nobody's allowed to have their own opinion. It's anyway.
I love a good LinkedIn violent debate. They're a lot of fun. I have no grievances around that. You know what else I have a huge grievance about is when you walk in to go to the bathroom and a toilet seat does not rise for you. And that's
so tough for you.
And you know what else is worse? Wiping your butt with toilet paper when you could have nice clean water. Okay, we'll move on.
No, wait, Chad
had a grievance.
And so did Mark.
Okay, sorry, Amanda. I
My
apologize.
grievance is not fun and or probably relatable for any of you, but it's come about in the last 3 weeks. When people sell products that a client does not need, working with a guy right now who's selling his, thank you, Brandon, who's selling his, who is open to selling his business in the next 3 years, and an advisor set him up the 412E heavily insured DB plan. That does not fit for him at all. And he's trapped now. You know, he's put in $350,000. He's $100K behind in what his cash value is in that insurance, and he has no way of getting out. And it's just shitty. Now, he signed the paperwork and he acknowledges that, and there's no fight about that. But the fact that someone threw him in there and sold him something to make money off of that he absolutely did not need is a terrible thing for our industry.
Yes, agreed.
Wow, Chad. Way to bring the mood
Agreed.
up.
Hey, you said bring things that I have issues with. I got an issue with that.
All right, now roll it up.
I got tricked into all those things.
Did we see Silent J's got something to complain about?
Life is good over here, guys.
Yes.
Nothing to complain about.
Yeah, because nobody's called you corporate all over
No.
LinkedIn.
Whoa.
Hey, fuck Tony. Love you, Tony.
Toby?
Do you remember that commercial? Hey, what's your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Ezekiel.
Tony.
Oh, there. Yeah. Jason's proving my
You
point.
better not bring my mother into this.
Jason's proving my point. I have one more grievance.
Jesus. What is this, dude? This
No.
isn't like therapy
Hang on.
session for
Hang on.
JD.
Just shut up
Buddy,
for a second.
if you can afford a $10,000 toilet, you can afford a therapist. Go get one.
Not really,
Mark,
not really.
Mark wins chat bar champion.
My wife's
Show
a
you-
therapist. You
I'll
can
show
pay
you
her
a video of my
$10,000 a
toilet
session.
later tonight, Naru.
Yeah,
No,
do
my
it from your
grievance is
toilet.
my grievance is the same of a lot of people out there, Rogue Guy, which is the stock market is a mysterious thing, and they all would like to get great returns, but there's only one person on this planet that knows how to read that stock market like a
Back.
motherfucking
Been waiting for
tight
this thing.
ass god, and that's Rogue Guy. It's drunk stock tips, people. It's back. Brandon?
Sorry, you can talk, JD. I'm going to be pouring a cocktail while you're doing that. Yeah.
I got you. Did a little update today. Not a deep one, but just kind of generally. I mean, if you think about the stock market, you might think like, wow, it's been a crazy ride for a while. But Rogue Guy told you to buy DoorDash at $75. It's now, people, at $215. Okay. He told you to buy Home Depot at $269. It's at $369. He said Disney was crack for kids at $90. It's now at $112. You ready for this? Costco. He said, fuck yes on Costco. Buy at $500. It is a 4-digit banger now. It's 1,000 people. Budweiser at 55 in all of its drama. It's at 70. There's another big one. Where's my fucking notes? He got you millions of dollars on Twitter. Netflix. You ready for this? Last one. Netflix, $199. Robe Guy says, Netflix and chill, motherfuckers. Buy that shit. It's at $1,250. Okay? When this guy talks, E.F. Hutton fucking listens. I'll drink. Today's stock 2024 revenue of $66.52 billion, which was a 14% decline from the previous year. Price to earnings ratio, you ready for this? Negative 11.8. Did you hear that, nerdy Chad? Negative 11.8. I was like, what? How do you have a price to earnings ratio negative 11.8? Well, that's
Don't even
because
know what that is. Couldn't tell you if you tried.
you want to know how much free cash flow they have right now at this company? Negative $14 billion. LOL.
That can't be a real thing.
that's a drink.
No, this is real. Year-to-date return, 19.76, 3-year 52, 5-year 15, 10-year return, a nice even number of 69%. The new stock is Boeing. I believe the ticker is BA. I will drink. Rogue Guy, lead us to the promised land.
That was a lot of information you just shared.
They had to get Musk to fly him home, bro.
What?
They had to get Musk to fly their people home.
I don't know what that means either. I don't keep up with the news typically.
Yep.
You know,
All right,
it's all negative stuff. What's the number at today? You say, JD?
Ooh, good call. Not sure.
Of all the things you said, I wasn't really listening. Say that.
Ask chat.
Brandon usually throws the stock up.
And
it's at 209.02, and let me put that into the
phone
record here.
Mark, you should phone a friend, see what the chat bar says.
Oh, I don't need help.
Amanda, that's not how this works.
Amanda, this is what I do. It's like, it's just finger to the wind kind of thing. You know,
Amanda, this is not about him trying to figure out how to get it right.
It's vibes.
He always gets it right.
Vibes.
We just, yeah.
Vibe. But by the way, I don't like how Boeing is spelled. I'm just gonna say it right now. It's like Boeing. Like,
Yeah.
it's just Boeing. Yeah. Now I
That's
kind of
a
like
warning.
it. Now that you do the Boeing, I like it. Okay. If I'm just getting down the brass tacks here, I'm just gonna say this. I have a really good friend, who gives me really good discounts on stuff. And his dad retired from Boeing. And his dad is an amazing human being, probably one of the smartest people I've ever met.
But he's retired.
Yeah, he retired before Boeing took a shit.
I know. He's
Maybe
a smart
that's why.
guy. So he's telling me something there. He was
Oh,
like,
okay,
hey,
I see where
buddy.
you're going.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to go against him. I'm just going to take the path of least resistance and say, this is a stock you buy. This is one you
Boeing,
hold
you'd
on
rather go
to.
up than down, huh?
Yeah, I think if their
Yeah.
planes do what they're supposed to do, which is take off, so
And land.
will. I don't want them to land. They could fly forever, Shannon. So you buy it and you hope that it's just an ongoing outward motion towards the sky.
Mark, the issue is they're the only ones that are falling right now.
Yeah, they have had some issues in the past too. But
Ouch.
Oh, Justin, do you think that I know that or care about that? The answer is no.
I hope you are right, and I hope their shit takes off.
They will. They will.
Justin, did you just say, I hope you're right?
I want Mark to be right. I want people
How
to
long
make
have
some
you
money.
been on this show?
But
I'm
Justin,
literally-
I got a lot of wiggle
Cheesecake,
room here,
buddy.
okay?
Cheesecake.
There's been a lot of good.
By the way,
very
where
little
is
bad.
Cheesecake? I gotta look at that one.
Oh, that's been one of my big misses, I will say. Where
So
are we
you
at
have
now?
been wrong. You have been
Oh,
wrong.
Yeah, he's been wrong maybe
Two
less than
times.
10%, maybe
Probably 3 times.
no more than that. But like he's done a lot of these. It's been a long time now. But I will do a full. I'll get artificial intelligence to help me do like a full analysis.
Oh,
like,
you like AI? Do you love it?
Mm,
Love
Trey.
AI? Would you say you love AI?
Amanda,
Two.
Oh my God.
Three.
Holy
Maybe 2 or
cow.
3. Did we get 2 or 3 there?
Oh,
She said it
shoot, I
like
was
3
saying my
times.
initials. Does that count?
No.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
said
yeah,
it like
you
3
talked to
times.
me.
yeah, it does. Okay, let's move on. And I'm actually going to try to sit this one out a little bit.
Hey, hold on, JD. One comment first. I asked artificial intelligence if I should buy or sell. And then I said, what about the terrible PE?
Price
Yeah,
earnings
I think
ratio.
I already said it there.
No, you got.
Ooh, I
didn't
got a
go
check
all the way
swing.
over.
Yeah, you got
Um,
check swing.
It is disagreeing with Mark and saying
Perfect.
that you should not buy.
Which one are you using?
Chat,
Yeah, okay.
generative.
I'm surprised it answers you that a lot of them are trying to say like, I'm not going to tell you to buy or sell. I'll give you some information on it. But anyways, I digress. Well, clearly it's fucking wrong, Chad. So I don't know what to tell you. I'll give a call to Sam
I'm
Altman
so much
tomorrow.
happier that it says to sell. Yeah, I'm so much. That makes me so much happier.
Better analysis. He wants you to use, Naru wants to use deep research.
Oh, that's not fair. That's a private chat.
Where the hell did that come from?
Corporate
Not
my ass.
fair.
Shannon, I also like to drink vodka in my free time. Okay, let's I've been drinking a lot of vodka in my free time. And Shannon, this is for you. Shannon, you know when my palms also get sweaty and my head also throbs? It's not just when a Shamanda show's coming, it's also coincidentally when I'm in a Shamanda group text. And I've been in that recently, the two of them, and Shannon said, hey, some things are going on in the PEP world. Let's discuss. So Shannon, I'll drink. And to everyone, I'm going to try to tone it down and let you all discuss. Take it away, Shannon.
So I wanted to bring this up just because I mean, I've learned some things over the past couple weeks. And Chad and I did an article it was a point counterpoint with Pete Swisher, which Nevin said was actually very calm for what he
There's
expected.
a lot of
it
name
to
dropping
be.
going on right now.
Look at
I know.
you guys. I just
Yeah.
want to let's just break this down. First, she's like, I did an article. Perhaps you haven't read my 6 articles in Plan Sponsor Magazine. If you haven't, I'd like you to see this edition. There was only 10 in this edition, but this was one of the articles. Oh, and I did this article with name drop. Name drop, name drop. We're really good friends. I could just have a drink with him. Why do you have to go to a special secret club? Why don't you just have a drink with him at the bar? That's what I do. Name drop, name drop, name drop. Okay, Shannon, now continue.
I love you, Mandy. Anyway, Chad and I both during this interview actually admitted that we had come to the realization that from time to time, there is a place for certain employers to have a plan in a pooled employer plan. I know that that would make JD lose his mind.
No, he agrees with that too.
But so we were discussing those types of plans in the last week, and I heard 2 things. First of all, there is I'm not going to say the 3 Ps that has recently gone bankrupt, that now all the money in the plan is frozen and nobody can get it out.
Oh shit, I didn't know
What
that.
the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know the name of it. I don't know the name of the plan. I just know that this happened and it was confirmed by somebody else that I was talking to.
Do we know is the P3 also like the custodian or the record keeper or something? Or
I
were
don't
they
know enough
independent?
about the story. I
Okay,
just
fair
know
enough.
that
Was it-
there's
just
been
to be
We
clear,
just heard
was it-
about it on Monday. Is this the thing you're talking about on
Yes,
Monday?
but it
that we
was
heard?
verified by
Okay,
somebody
was
else
it
too.
Boeing?
It seems to me they might be if stuff's frozen, but go on.
So, I mean, so that happened. And then there are several that the record keeper is the same as the P3 is the same as the 338 or 316. So there's like no oversight, no independence. And basically who's going to fire the fiduciary when the fiduciary is doing bad things, right? So I just wanted to toss that out for discussion
Where's
amongst the
Rob
groups
Smith
because
when you need him?
I just think this is really scary. That this is what, I mean,
The conflict of interest concerns you, and I think that's always been a really big one. So I'm curious how Robe Guy or Justin or Chad or Amanda feel. Like I got in a lot of trouble with a good friend of ours, Leah Sylvester. She was giving a presentation at some conference somewhere, and I was in the audience, and
Thanks
I
for
made
being
a big
so
stink
specific.
about it because I got on the mic that they put around the audience, and I said, who's the pooled plan provider here? And I forget who the vendor was. It was Principal or someone. And it was like, we are. And I was like, okay, who's doing the compliance work? And they're like, we are. I was like, okay, who's holding the assets? Who's the record keeper? And they're like, we are. And I dropped my mic on the table and I walked out of the room. And
You did not.
Yeah, you said a few
He
things before you
absolutely
left the
did.
room.
And we
He
never
did?
got kicked out of the
Yeah.
conference, Amanda.
You
And
did?
Leah came to me very upset, and she and I had a kind of face-to-face talk about it because she was up there. And I was like, look, I'm not upset with you. I'm just upset with the conflict of interest. So anyway, so I've always felt that way. So Chad, Robe Guy, like, is this coming up? Are people talking about this? Like when you discuss PEPs, this conflict of interest that Shannon, isolated so well, like it's got to be an issue.
I immediately shook my head no, like it's not popping up. But the truth is, it is. It is now. And I shake my head no because I'm not competing against it, but I am regularly getting asked, what do you think? Would you do this? Do you think this is the right fit for it? And
Yeah,
I'm
just to
being
interrupt you
asked
for
on
a
like
second. Do you think that you almost need like a solution so they can go, oh, never mind, that doesn't fit for me? It's almost like we get asked all the time, but it's
we have a
not
solution.
fit.
There is a solution.
Well, oh no, I know, but it's almost like, well, you could do the shiny coin. So I almost feel like, because I get asked all the time, but it's never really the right fit for.
So
But
we
answer Amanda's question, Jack, because she's
no,
not saying have a pivot solution. She's saying, should I just set up a pooled employer plan so I can just say like, of course, we have one at Pinnacle. Here you go.
no.
But it's never the right solution, or not never, almost
Right.
almost
So
a lot
not
of
with the
times.
type of clientele that we typically work with, right? But so guys, I sent you all an email recently with Empower's new solution that is a
yes.
third-party administrator driven
Yeah, it's
pooled
like a
employer
solution we
plan.
have now.
It is a solution that we all have access to. The problem is, and I shouldn't say it's a problem, it's a good thing. Advisors are asking the questions they should be asking. It's a new shiny tool. People are marketing on them. They're hearing about it. They want to know, is this the right fit? And I'm very thankful that they're asking me if this is the right fit. And it gives me an opportunity to have that discussion. Because the vast majority of plans that are considering that pooled employer plan approach, they're not the right fit. But to your point, Amanda, yeah, I now have an opportunity to say, we've got access to a good one. I don't think it fits for you, but here's why. Here's what it could look like if we decided to. So yes, I do think you need to have an option and not just be a hater, aka pooledemployerplansuck.org. But you also need to understand that this is not a widget I'm just out there. We are just out there trying to sell. If there is a group that it fits, I will tell them this is a fit. You should go this route. I just don't come across them.
Amanda, Shannon, can I go a little deeper with you just for a second? In that people always get upset with me, like, why I'm so anti this.
Why do you drop the mic and walk out of a conference?
Yeah. Why so like aggressive? And why can't JD you just be okay with like?
Hold on, JD. Mark's fighting you right now.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not. No, if I have a comment, not till later. But so can it be clear? This show is not going to go just an hour. We know this. This is not an after show. I'm just making sure that I'm still allowed to press the Ackerson button.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Amanda's
Hey,
not
but
saying
can we just
shit.
stop for a minute and just tell Tony, because he's razzing Shannon and I in the chats, that we're doing Ackersons all the time and not drinking.
Tony, they
Did
are
anyone see
drinking.
me do the shots? I was doing the shots. I have the.
And Tony, this show does
row.
not work. The chat bar does not allow you to just allocate shots to people. That's not how it works.
Right.
No,
They're
he's saying we're not
drinking.
doing our Ackersons, but I've absolutely done mine.
All right.
You're totally keeping
Going
up.
Back to your
And
point.
we've had many big shots on this show that have not. You guys are keeping to your shots 100%. My very kind of serious concept I want to pitch to you guys is that when about 20 years ago, I feel like our industry was catching a lot of flack for hidden fees. It was not uncommon for advisors to get like 1 in 50 or 1 in 25 on new plan sales. You know, they literally sell like a $4 million plan and walk away with 40 grand on the front side. And we had a lot of conflict of interest in terms of revenue sharing and must invest in proprietary funds and guaranteed investment contracts, all kinds of stuff. And rightfully so, the public, our consumers kind of looked at us as an industry like we were just like Wall Street, like not to be trusted. And I feel like over the last 20 years through 404A5 and 408B2 and fee disclosures, and to hats off to the vendors, the record keepers, for creating products that had institutional share class of funds and really breaking out the fees, and the industry as a whole evolving in terms of fee comparisons and all these things. I feel like we really kind of like dug ourselves out of that hole, and we're starting to be looked at as like a different type of industry that I was really proud of. And that is why I get so upset when I hear big names, Fred Reish, Swishers, chief executive officers of some of these record keepers, pushing pooled employer plans as some type of new solution to help the coverage gap, when they're riddled with these conflicts of interest. And I'll try to finish it right here. My concern is that as soon as these things get to a certain size, Schlichter's going to go after them, and Schlichter's peers. They're going to be all over the headlines of the news, and Schlichter's going to find out that there's a lot of self-dealing happening, a lot of conflicts of interest, I guarantee you that's going to happen. And my point is that is a bad look. And then I'll also say a bad direction for our industry. And so I just want to say, for the record, That is why I push back so hard on this, as I say, everyone, family, friends in my industry, people I love, why are we allowing this to happen? This is not a good look for us. And the fact of the matter is, it's not Amanda, it's not Shannon, it's not the fabric of our industry that's pushing this. It's people that are motivated by greed. And they want to make money, and they want to have these things be sticky, and they want to get back the profit margins that they had in the 90s and the early 2000s. And that's where I say no personally, and I'll continue to shout about it. I'll shut up.
No, I agree, JD, in large part. I mean, my dad told me.
Did you see Will's thing? He wrote hashtag greed is good.
What did he write?
I mean, for years, my dad told me when I was growing up, all you have to do is follow the money, right? You want the answer to a question, follow the money. And, you know,
Dad
I know
loves to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Pete,
Who
you know,
does?
when we were
Dad.
doing that interview with Pete, it was, you know, he thought that the PEPs were the solution for everything, and that every plan should be in a PEP.
I can see when a PEP could make
Oh.
sense. I can see when it could make sense.
Amanda,
PEP.
tell me why. Like, so what do you think? What's the situation where it makes sense? Like, why?
Okay, so I'm kind of torn in saying this because I grew up an auditor. That's how I started I think you guys all know.
Yeah.
But potentially a plan is that 100 participants, it has to pay for a $10,000 to $15,000 audit, and they can go in a PEP. I'm just going for it. And
You could just not say it. But
okay.
We got records to break, Mark. Shut up.
Mark, will you say it for me? Would you say it for me, actually?
JD just
I'll
turned
point to you,
red.
Mark, and you say it, okay?
nope, not. I'm pitching a no-hitter.
Okay.
His bidet is canning him
But
right now.
then, so if they need to save money on that audit, and they can potentially, now I'm not convinced. Here's the problem. I'm not sure when you look at all the fees across the board that everybody's paying, that they're actually
They're not
saving
cheaper.
money. So
No, they're not.
yeah,
They're not. We know
that's
that.
where I could see the argument for it, but I'm just not convinced
Okay.
that
So you
it's
made a
real.
clear point. You made a clear point.
Let me support
Go ahead.
that point real quick, JD, in that it's not just about fees and expense, right? There are some operational efficiencies that are created in that relationship.
Well, don't go on to more defense of it, Chad. I want to tackle this one at a time.
I'm just going to say you still can get them in a standalone plan. Let's
You
not
can.
drift away from that.
Right.
But
Right.
the pooled employer plan world is built on those efficiencies, and there is value in those efficiencies. So it's not cheaper. It can't be cheaper. It's not about bridging the coverage gap. It's about saying, if you don't want to do anything and you think you can outsource your fiduciary responsibility,
Yeah.
we can charge you more. We can take it on.
That.
Okay,
That's
so
the
let's
problem.
put a pin in Chad's administrative work / fiduciary responsibility, because that's probably, you know, in the top 3 for sure.
Mhm.
Amanda, you brought up the audit costs, which that one does really like bother me sometimes, because just to go back to the origination of this all in Washington, this was to solve the coverage gap, which means this was meant for startup plans and small businesses, not employers that have 100 plus, 125 plus employees.
No disagreement.
And even with that said, when you've got 200 employees, 500 employees, 1,000 employees, you could give a fuck about 10 grand. Okay. I'm just being dead honest with you. Like
You
that's,
would hope so, but that's a
Yeah.
big.
but that is okay. Fair enough.
And
But
quite
there's-
frankly, I might be the only one on this panel, but I actually really do see the value in those audits.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
because
yeah.
I
Oh,
did
and
it for a
and
decade,
let's be
there's
clear.
value there.
Let's be
For
very
sure.
clear, Amanda. I know right now I'm not going at you, because you just kind of, what do they say, steel manned it or whatever. She was just kind of making the case for it. It's not
Right.
like I'm not talking to you directly. I'm just saying that the audit cost thing, to me, I mean, that's got to drop so far down a list. And if you would have gone to Washington, D.C. and said, I'll drink, we want to bring these new plans on board so we can reduce audit costs, you would have been thrown out of their
Right.
play. Like that is not why these are in
No,
existence
you're right.
at all. And so then we go, Chad already tackled the cost thing. which unfortunately is a lot of misinformation. A lot of people think
Right.
that these are cheap. Everyone's heard me say this before, by the way. That is why Washington approved these. Some people disagree with me, but I believe wholeheartedly all of those congressmen and women said yes to this because they were told that if we pooled together hundreds of small employers, they would get big employer pricing. If you told me that, I would say like, yes, that sounds like a phenomenal idea. The problem is that that is not occurring, and it does not even occur at scale. So even if they make these things very big, it's still not true because there's additional services. You know, that there's the pooled plan provider, as Shannon talked about. There's fiduciaries. Let me ask you this, Amanda, or I'm picking on Amanda. I'm going to go Shannon.
Okay.
How many startup plans that you would sell, that you'd sit down with a startup employer who's got 15 employees and wants to start up their 401k plan for the first time, would you say, hey, I got a great idea for you. In addition to my third-party administrator services, let's bring on a good 316 for $1,500 a year to kind of look over your plan and double check the shit I'm doing and handhold you from an administrative service standpoint. How many of them do you think would want that, or you should sell that to them?
There's not a single one.
Right.
But that could be good for them.
Of course.
Not if
But that's
they
not
have
what they want.
if they have a good compliance administrator, they don't need
You
to
almost
pay
act
extra
like
for
a
that.
316. So now we evolved to Chad's defense, which was relieving the employer of their responsibilities.
No, that was not my defense.
Their administrative burden.
Okay, so yeah,
It was
process.
an argument. It's not the one that
Sorry,
you necessarily
not their
said you
fiduciary
believe.
responsibility. Their administrative burden. Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
That's not what I meant. That's another one we could talk about. That'd be fun. But let's stick with administrative burden. Amanda, Shannon, third-party administrators all over the country for many years now, before there were pooled employer plans, can offer 316 fiduciary services, whether they're doing it themselves or they're partnering with some outside third party. This has always been something that we could offer to clients to help relieve their administrative burden. Therefore, the pooled employer plans do not have that. That is not a unique characteristic of theirs, but they continue to wave that flag in such a big way. So Chad, I would go back to you and say like, okay, but you don't, if you want to relieve yourself of administrative burden, that doesn't mean that you run to a pooled employer plan.
No. And I wrote 402A in the chat bar. Like, it's different than just the 316 side of that protection and responsibility. But I guess
that's right. You get a pooled plan provider too.
Yeah. What I was trying to say in that comment, JD, is that it is involved in, from my knowledge, every pooled employer plan. And it's not involved that kind of procedural prudence in every standalone plan. So they may want that,
by the way.
And because we haven't been selling that as an industry, they think the pooled employer plan space is where I get that level of service, that level of outsourcing. And the truth is, that's not true. We just haven't been selling it as an industry because people don't usually want.
And then
they don't need all of that.
And then here's the bigger problem. Much like when 316 came out, I was actually excited when 316 started to first catch fire. I was like, this is great. This is going to allow me to run my firm more like my dad did in the 80s. When like we can be real, like Shannon is, really white glove, attention to detail, and get paid for it. And unfortunately, within weeks or months, all of these 316 light types of things came out where people were going to offer these services for $250 or $500. And to some of the comments in the chat bar, that's because you need to read the contract to understand exactly what someone is going to offer you. And by the way, these pooled plan providers and the 316
are way better at that than me.
What's that?
I said you're way better
You're
at that
an
than
experience.
me. Yeah.
Are actually doing the same thing. If you read the contracts of pooled employer plans, there are a lot of things that they refuse to take responsibility for, or they at least caveat based on what data you're going to provide them or this or that. So to me, even Chad, even that value of a pooled plan provider, Shannon's example of the recent lawsuit aside.
Someone would like to know who is Shannon. It says, pardon the ignorance. Who is Shannon?
What do you call her?
That would be me.
I said she's a beast of a detailed TPA.
I know. I'm like, that's what I
Anyways,
call
That
her.
counts as 2.
Anyways, I actually thank you guys because to me that was my favorite pooled employer plan conversation to date because it was calm. We could go through it. I just wish more people could.
Wait, hold on a second. JD just thanked us
Yes,
for having a
bringing it.
conversation.
I told
with
you you were
Shamanda
right
that was
earlier.
calm. We could go through it. Do you guys hear that? You see how I've done? I've done
Yeah.
a good job.
Oh my
He's
God.
gonna be
This
so
shit's
happy.
getting way
You've
too
gone
corporate,
Amanda.
right?
Listened for the
Amanda?
last 5 to 8 minutes. I haven't listened. No, I have not been listening.
Because I'm trying to be so calm and
That's Hackler. Hackler just called you corporate Amanda.
Will's my friend.
They are all going to call you corporate now. You know that,
Okay.
right?
That's such no, because I don't think it's funny.
This is my favorite
Corporanda.
Shamanda show
Really,
yet.
Roby?
If
Or
anyone
Pranda.
out there feels like they have very low blood pressure and you'd like to raise it up, I suggest going and looking at episode 1 of Shamanda or episode 2. They're out there on YouTube. You can check those out.
Or
Don't
give
do
us
it.
their cell phone number and we'll include them in our group text.
Let's do a little bit of where's my housekeeping? I'm gonna have to wing it. I don't know where it went.
Housekeeping?
Yeah, to
What?
close it out.
Oh, I was like,
I would like to let everyone know
We're
that
not going 3 hours tonight, guys.
that Sherry Fitz has her Sway conference. I think it's happening in August. It's in Wisconsin. Fuck, am I getting that
Put
right?
it out there, Sherry.
No, I think it's Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Well,
Isn't
Is
That's
that
that
the
the
same
same
place.
thing,
that
Amanda?
Wisconsin?
Oh well, I think it's in Milwaukee.
Missouri, Kansas, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Doesn't matter.
One of those flyover
One
states.
big flyover area.
Oh, Sherry's here. I didn't even know she was here. So, okay,
Yeah.
great. Sherry, put the dates in there. Thank you. August 3rd to 5th.
And the
Go.
location.
Very quick. And Sherry has not paid me for this in any way, shape, or form. I attended the first Sway conference, which to me was phenomenal. And it's grown massively since then. This is like no other industry event that you've been to. There's a lot of real authenticity, a lot of transparency, a lot of honesty from people. And you walk away from it feeling like, oh shit, wow, like this is actually very productive and valuable. And so I love what she's doing there. I'm proud of her for doing it. And she's having a lot of success and she deserves that. So if you're not aware of it yet, which I'm sure you are, but check it out. That's going down. Self promo. My artificial intelligence company is having a webinar on the 18th of this month at 10 a.m. You'll be able to sign up at waves.ai/webinar. I'll have that up tomorrow. You'll see email blast. Oh shit, coming out. And we're talking about our enhancements.
That wasn't even a step. That you faked the step. You did not step. There was no step.
You're totally right.
I know.
I barely had liquid touch my.
But the chat bar, Tony won't call him out.
JD's going corporate. JD's going corporate.
JD's going corporate.
So anyways, look for that email. We've had massive attendance on those things. So we're going to show you our enhancements.
3 people, 4 people.
Hundreds, bro. Hundreds. For real. And then lastly, someone else has a fucking podcast around here.
Yeah, Shannon's podcast. Oh,
that's what I'm doing, Amanda.
Yeah, I
did.
Yeah.
Someone else has a podcast around here. And I think it's called The Gap. And I was driving my truck to the beach to surf the other day, and I hit play and I listened to it. And you know what my first thought was?
What?
Fucking S words.
Yeah.
It's
She's
good,
a hell of a
Hey,
host.
Shannon,
Like-
who's the dude that does like the intro part? Did you hire that person? Is that a fake thing? Like, what is that?
No, we hired him. It's with Turnkey Productions. They're actually a great company.
So Shannon, please
Production company.
take a moment to tell everyone about it, and take more than a moment. Like you got
it's so
a couple
good.
episodes out now.
Oh, I'm
so
on the
please.
spot now. We have 4 episodes out now. The first one was with Will Hansen from ARA. So the whole point is
Oh.
like,
Finish your thought.
So the whole reason I called it the gap was I started it because I'm super passionate about closing the gaps in both coverage and savings. And so as I started talking, I went through this whole class with Turnkey, and actually Sherry introduced us to Turnkey, and Sherry went through a podcasting class with me and Eric Dyson. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yes.
I love his Be More Than a
He's been a
Fiduciary.
guest on this show. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, I love Eric. So we all did this together. And so as we were coming up with our podcast, you know, Doug was asking us kind of like, what are you passionate about? What do you want to talk about? And so that's why we named it the gap, because we're talking about with our guests, how to close, what people are doing in the industry or in their own, you know, cities or with youth or whatever. How are we working to close those gaps? So I'm really excited about it. It took me a long time.
It's really, really good. You guys should listen. It's short as can be, and it's so good. And
the fourth episode might be the one you just passed right over, though.
What's the fourth one?
The fourth one is Amanda.
It's got some corporate chick on there.
It's got corporate Amanda.
Do you see Tony? Tony hasn't. He's not done with me. He's like, I'm not annoyed Amanda enough. Now I'm gonna start picking on Shannon. He wants to see me hot. Pick on my bestie.
Well, bro, I mean the fourth episode is so corporate, right?
Yeah, it's super corporate. Yeah.
So corporate.
What does that mean?
There's just a bunch of like buzzwords in there.
What that means is
very professional.
we've had plenty of corporate people on the show where, to me, I think in Tony's mind, corporate means you're not getting drunk enough. But in general sense,
4 high noons in an hour.
In the general sense, to me, corporate means
to our world.
You're minding your P's and Q's.
You're afraid to be outspoken.
I'm going to say that counts.
Clearly are not.
I don't even know what those letters stand for in that little context, but that counts.
And now I'm making sure I actually drink.
But Shannon's podcast is
a problem.
Really good.
My wife asked me for the tequila bottle.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if she needs it or if she's simply taking it away from me.
Okay, so I got to tell you guys, if we're kind of done. So, quick story. So, my husband went with me to an event, and Chad was there. And we were chatting with Chad and Brooke, and they were so nice. We got along with them great. You know, we're from a small town in North Dakota. They're living in a small town. And my husband is like, oh, who is he? He's wonderful. And so how do you know him? And I was like, he's one of the Retireholics. He's like, he's one of the Retireholics. He's one of the guys that gets you when you're on that thing. Like, what? So he was impressed by Chad. He was shocked he was a Retireholic.
Yes. For 10 years, we've all been shocked that Chad is a Retireholic.
I thought you were going to say that we all are a Retireholic.
That makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Naru says JD's not corporate. I had a webinar, Zoom meeting with Naru recently. I wonder what my cuss counter was. I think I might have cussed like 15
More than a
times.
show?
Huh?
More than a show?
No, but a lot.
I cuss a lot too.
Okay, so we've got Shannon's new podcast, The Gap, which great, by the way.
Awesome, Shannon.
So good.
Graphics and everything. I love the name. I told you that. I meant that. But mostly, and I hope this doesn't sound bad because I was taken aback at how confident. You seemed like you had been doing a podcast for a long time.
She's a beast.
Well, thank you.
I've spent so much time with the two of you now. You both are beasts in this industry, both inside ARA and outside ARA. Like, it is incredibly impressive.
That's true.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great way to wrap it up, Chad. We thank our guests, Shannon and Amanda, for being here. The Shamanda Show. And
Did
to
it
Chad's
give you
point,
less sweaty palms this time? Was it a little better?
Yes.
A little better?
So much less. Much less. And I will back up what Chad said. We obviously believe that 1,000%, and not just because of Amanda's kind of career trajectory and Shannon being a, entrepreneur that's crushing it. Here's a good warm feeling. I got 2 private messages from people that said, this? They said, hey, and I think they only knew because you guys were coming on. and they hadn't, because we've had other third-party administrators on this show, but they both wrote me, and they weren't related to each other, and then they said, "It's really cool that you have another third-party administrator coming on your show," and it's become such like normal default for me that it stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right," and I'm proud of that. Like we're a community. We're not against each other. We're for each other.
Yeah, as a community, the good ones, we can raise each other up, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we don't. Even if we do compete, do you know that I'm doing an event with Jordan here in Southern California?
Oh, nice.
2 third-party administrators coming together with both our logos on the invite and working together to invite advisors to a thing.
That's awesome.
I like that shit. So very similar to
the way it should be.
Yes.
Exactly.
Dustin,
there's enough
we're gonna love
all
it.
the good firms.
My first meeting tomorrow is tomorrow. We're going to invite, and you're going to get to invite advisors to the Palm Springs Beach Surf pool.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. What a good guy to do it with Jordan.
What's that?
Yeah.
What a good person to do it with.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Chad's talking over you.
Didn't it just close down?
No, it's up and running. It's good. I think it's going to be July 25th. And we're going to have a whole bunch of advisors out there. They're actually going to be able to bring some of their family. There's cabanas, there's food, there's drink.
Nice.
But my point was, it's me and Jordan together saying, hey, come on in. Anyways, so there's that. That's it. Oh, you guys out there, everybody but Naru, you nerdy fucking coder guy.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I love Naru. Thank you for tuning in on another Thursday night. You know what I'm going to put on LinkedIn this week is all of our guests out to the end of the year. We're pretty much booked out for the rest of the year. So I'm going to let you all know exactly who's coming for what shows for the whole year.
I think that JD just said that, you guys. He's like, we're booked out for the whole year. So
we're booked, bro.
Don't ask me if you guys can come back.
I sent him a guest this week, and he's like, sorry, dude.
No. The last Shamanda show, I believe, was in 2022.
Holy shit.
One will be in 2035. So please, in 2035 for the show.
Can I just, and this isn't like in a creepy way, but can I just say, like, Amanda, Shannon, you look amazing for having been 3 years since then. Like, wow.
Thanks.
Well, thank
Y'all
you.
look the same.
Wow.
I can't say the same for us four. So that's why I'm saying that. Look, we look like disasters.
Brandon, throw up a young picture of the Retireholics. I'm sure he doesn't have it. So thank you to the audience. Thank you to our guests.
Thank you guys.
To everyone except for the pooled employer plans out there. And we'll see you next time on Retireholics. We are changing the retirement plan.
No chat bar thing?
Chat bar champion?
Chat bar. No, not tonight.
They were right.
No, wait, JD. I vote
completely-
for, we should all just vote for Naru. Boom, Naru wins.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, Naru did stick up for me.
Naru, you're chat bar champion tonight.
There you go.
And we'll send you a custom Retireholics paper hat.
Will's a good runner up.
Will sucks.
Will wins too much. Will always wins.
Yeah, love you, 401k people. You're our family, you're our industry. We love you. Let's keep moving forward together. Keep crushing shit. And we'll see you next time. Brandon, play us out with a song. Hopefully one that...
I don't think so, assholes.
We'll see you next time.
Good night, everybody.
Peace out, everybody.